Hi, Maya. Thank you so much for doing this video for me. I really appreciate it. I know I always say this at the beginning of my videos, but these videos are super valuable because they help so many people who are suffering from anxiety and kind of have lost hope that they can actually heal themselves and move past it. So I really appreciate that you're taking the time to do this for me. And I wanted to ask, the first question is, where were you when you first started the program?
When I first started the program, I pretty much have constant anxiety. I mean, functioning, I worked, I took care of kids, I took care of a husband, a house, everything. But it was very hard every day getting up and going through my day and actually appreciating what I was doing in every moment. It was always, what's next? What's next? What's next? What do I need to do? Oh my God, how do I fix this? How do I fix that? So it was very rarely that I was just sitting in the moment and enjoying a cup of coffee or enjoying watching a movie. It was always, what's next? What's next? What's next? So definitely not a fun place.
Yeah, for sure. So doing the program and working together throughout the weeks and now being done with the program. So where is your anxiety now?
It's not there. It's, things happen in life, things I can't control, things that I want to, but it's just out of my control. So while I may not be happy, but I may have the negative feelings about it, the obsession, the OCD, like, what do I do? How do I fix this? Let me think of every avenue I can go through to make it better. It doesn't affect my day. I don't get stuck on one thing during the day.
And so like now you don't have anxiety, but have all these other emotions and can move through your day?
Yes. It's almost like without the anxiety, I'm actually feeling the other emotions and able to take care of myself better because I can know what the emotion is and then I can let myself feel it and then I can move past it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That exactly as you said, like when the anxiety is gone, we can understand, oh, I have all these other emotions that I can tap into and I can move through them better, because I always say like anxiety makes you stand in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what it is, what you want to do or however. And I love that you said about kind of being okay with what you can't control, right? Because if we look at 10 weeks ago, how did you feel about what you can't control?
Anxiety. I wanted to fix it somehow. And I wanted to, if it had to do with somebody else, I want to call them and try and like beat them down into doing what I want them to do, or I get mad and take it out on them. So definitely unhealthy behaviors out of, because I couldn't control things, and it still didn't fix anything when I did that. So not only was I feeling bad, now I just made somebody else feel bad too.
Yeah. And then there's the guilt after that.
And then there's the guilt, and then there's anxiety over like, did I ruin this relationship? Did I just mess everything up? So yes, it just piled on instead of fixing anything anyways.
Yeah, that's so true. And what made you decide to do the program? Because I know there's a lot of people watching these videos and they have anxiety disorders like I did, like you did, but they're skeptical about like taking that action. So what made you decide to take action on it?
I guess it's like nothing else is working. I don't like how I feel day to day. And if this works, fantastic. I was kind of at a point like I really had nothing to, I can continue sitting in this and feeling miserable or whatever, but I see a potential solution. So why not take the chance? Why stand in my own way? I mean, if it didn't work, I would have still been in the same place, but I got to take the chance and it did work. So now I'm in a better place. So, it's like with everything in life, it's, you take a chance and put your all in. You can't half-ass it though. You can't just be like, oh, I'm in it and then not do anything. Like you actually have to do stuff, but I felt like I really had nothing else to lose. All I had to lose was like losing the anxiety and feeling better, which I did.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, that's how it was for me too. I was so bad that I was like, okay, I have to try this or that. Just anything is better than this.
Yes.
Feeling that I had,
Yes, exactly.
So someone who is thinking about or desperately wanting to end their anxiety and then is skeptical about my program, which is so normal, like everyone is. I'm sure you were too when you first about to start, you were like, oh, this is 1,000% right?
Exactly. Yeah.
what message would you give to a person watching these videos who is super skeptical but is also living in pure anxiety all day long?
I would say if you're truly ready to let go of things, ready to face yourself in reality, and ready to, you know, actually put in the work to do the program, then it's gonna work. You know, it's a 100% commitment, but you also have to want it. It can't just be like, oh, it'd be nice if it's gone. It has to be, I really don't want to live my life like this anymore, because that's what pushes you to do the assignments, to do the program, to really open yourself up to everything. So you really have to want it to make it work, you know?
Yeah, that's so good, because I think a big part of the program too is commitment to trust the process.
Yes.
You know, like sometimes maybe I don't know, but maybe you even went through moments that you're like, is this really working? Like, is it really, or is it not? But like staying committed, trusting the process that like, oh no, BB says she'll get me there, so we'll get there. And then at some point you start to see that coming out, right?
I think in the beginning, even with the assignments, I think that the assignments tapped in so much to the anxiety part that I didn't realize before, that it wasn't that, is this really going to work? I was never really sitting in here thinking, is this going to work? Because through the book and through also, like I said, the assignment from the very beginning and talking and truly showing me where anxiety comes from and what's really going on with anxiety, I think I trusted it would work, because it opened my eyes to what truly was going on, instead of, you know,
you saw your blind spots.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Okay, thank you so much for doing this video. I really appreciate it.
Okay, yay.